Series on a massive note. Oh yeah, baby. They get the 3-game sweep over the Oakland A's, and they do a little bit of this. Well, this thing is nasty. I'm not getting a new one because it seems to be working for these guys. They sweep away the Oakland A's 8-0 at Rogers Center today. Fantastic stuff by the Toronto Blue Jays. The offense was going. Robbie Ray was fantastic. You saw some really nice defensive plays. And you've now won 4 straight. I'll say it again. This jersey is undefeated to this point. And the boys, they're about to start the biggest series of the year in the Bronx. And we'll get to why in a little bit. But let's talk about the ball game. Bottom of the second inning. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. comes up with Alejandro Kirk and Bo Bichette on base, and he drills one to right field. And was it going to go out? And it goes off the wall, but Chad Pinder runs into the wall hard. He falls down, ball kicks back, and everyone starts running. Kirk comes home, Bo Bichette comes home, Jay's up 2-0, Gurriel ends up at third base. Big 90 feet there, because that allows Randall Grichuk, a guy who's been really struggling lately, hey, just get the ball in the air. Get the ball in the air, drive this run home. And he does just that, but a little bit better as he drives it to the gap, and it goes all the way to the wall. It's a ground rule double from Randall Grichuk. Gurriel comes in, and the Jays are up 3-0 in the bottom of the second with Robbie Ray on the hill. You couldn't feel much better, Jays fans, about what's going on right now in the early goings of this ball game. We go to the top of the third inning, Robbie Ray doing his thing. What happens in the next half inning? He put that 0 up in the top half. Bottom of the third inning, Marcus Semien goes deep against his former team again, this time to left field. And it's way gone. Homer number 35 for Marcus Semien, I believe, on the year. Jays extend their lead. It's now 4-0, but they weren't done. Bo gets on. Vladdy gets on, and they had a day. But you know who else had a good day? Alejandro Kirk. And he drills one to left field, and it's gone! A 3-run bomb for our chubby catcher, Alejandro Kirk. And the Jays are now up 7-0 in the bottom of the third. Cole Irvin gets the hook. He doesn't last too long. The Jays go all over him. And they had a massive 7-0 lead early on in this ballgame. But we saw yesterday how big leads can evaporate. So in the bottom of the fourth inning, after Ray put up a 0 in the top half of the fourth, Bo Bichette comes up with Vladdy on base, and he rips a double to left field. The throw comes home because Vladdy is bogeying around the bases. He slides in safe. Bo with the RBI double. And the Jays are up 8-0. Now this is when they start putting it in cruise control. Ray puts it in cruise control. He had a no-hitter going into the fifth. He was dialed in early on, was Robbie Ray. It's gonna be pretty crazy to see who wins the Cy Young Award between him and Garrett Cole. Anyway, Lance Lynn's done, in my opinion. He's on the IL right now, so there's really no point even talking about him. But my God, Robbie Ray had a day, and he was great. He comes out of the bullpen in 6 2/3, and people are gonna be like, "Well, why didn't you let him finish off the inning?" You wanted him to get the ovation. Charlie wanted him to feel the ovation. You're up 8-0, right? He's already around 110 pitches. You didn't need to kill the guy. He already got his 10 strikeouts for the first Jay in franchise history to get 4 consecutive games of 10 strikeouts. Insane for Robbie Ray. And then the bullpen comes out and does a pretty good job. Richards came out, got the one guy he faced. Baker was good. And Nate Pearson shut the door at the end. That was a clean ball game. You got some really good defensive play. As I said off the top, some good defensive plays. Your bullpen was good. Your starting pitching was Robbie Ray. That's all I got to say. It rhymed. And your offense was unbelievable. 13 hits for the Blue Jays. Again, 4 consecutive games of double-digit hits for the Toronto Blue Jays, and they've won all 4. They're buzzing right now. The question is, can they keep that alive in the Bronx? And that's what we're going to have to wait and see. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had a day, as I mentioned, 3 for 5 in the game today, scored 2 runs. Bo Bichette went 4 for 4, had 2 runs, scored an RBI. He has been red hot over the last, more or less this series. And Alejandro Kirk, we talk about how, defensively we're not really sure about him, but man, can he handle a bat. 3 for 4 in the game, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs on the 3-run bomb that he hit. Like I said, 13 hits for the Blue Jays, only 6 strikeouts. They're making bat to ball, putting the ball in play. Good things will happen. And that's exactly what the Blue Jays are doing as of late. With the W, they now go 11 games over 500 at 73-62. Robbie Ray got the hill today. Obviously, we all know that. 6 2/3. He allowed 1 hit, 4 base runners. He walked 3. He had 10 strikeouts. Robbie Ray was unbelievable. Again. His ERA is what? Like 2.6 in the dot? Like, that's just unheard of stuff in the American League East. Just tells you how good Robbie Ray is and how his season and how he's going to be getting paid. We heard the news today that they were unsuccessful about getting Semien, but you kind of expected that. He'll test free agency, and I'm hoping he comes back with the Jays. And Robbie, clearly they want him back, and now he knows the Jays want him back. And for Robbie Ray, we all know they want him back. I mean, if you're going to win the Cy Young Award, I think you want the guy back the next year. Don't let him walk to free agency. Not a good look. And obviously, like I said, Trevor Richards came out, faced the one guy, got the strikeout, and Brian, I believe it's Brian Baker, made his big league debut. Went an inning, allowed 1 hit, had a strikeout, no walks, no runs allowed. So a good job for Brian Baker there. And Nate Pearson goes out there in the 9th inning, and I really like this move from Charlie Montoyo. He hasn't quite shown us that he's that high leverage guy. He's got the stuff to be, but he hasn't shown quite yet, because we saw in the last game that he played, he wasn't very good. So you throw him out there in an 8-0 game in the 9th inning. Makes a lot of sense. Romano's not available. You don't have to use Simber. You don't have to use any of these guys. So give Nate Pearson a shot. I get it. He was great. He struck out 3 guys all on the breaking ball and struck out the side. Good job for Nate Pearson. The emotion afterwards from him. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come for Nate Pearson, because if you add that element to an already not terrible bullpen, okay. The positivity is going right through the roof from the Toronto Blue Jays. But when you've won 7 of your last 8, or no, it's 6. I believe it's 6 of your last 7 or 7 of your last 8. I think it was 6 of the last 7 yesterday. So it's 7 of your last 8. I mean, and you're getting bullpen stuff like that. It's pretty incredible. And everyone's feeling positive. But as I mentioned, the next series is in the Bronx. Game 1 is Ryu versus Jameson Taillon. Ryu lately we're not too sure about. His last outing against with Danny Jansen was unbelievable. He had like a no-hitter going into the 5th, and then he just caved in and blew up. We weren't really sure what happened there. That can't happen against the Yankees. You know why? The last 2 days, the Yankees have lost to the Baltimore Orioles. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They've blown leads to the Baltimore Orioles. They lost back-to-back games. The Jays won back-to-back games. The Yankees, since their 13-game win streak, have lost 6 of 8. They're 2-6 in their last 8 games. They have not been good. They have a sub-500 record against the Baltimore Orioles this year. The Jays are catching them at the right time. They're only 4.5 back. You have a 4-game set against the Yankees, 4.5 back in them. You take 3 of 4, you're 2.5 back. And you still have a series against this team, the rest, a 3-game set at Rogers Center to end the year. This series in the Bronx is massive. Maybe for the Yankees' sake, they don't look at it as massive because they're 4.5 games up. They just got to win a couple games and then they're in good shape. But for the Blue Jays, who are absolutely buzzing right now, if you can keep this momentum going, and we saw this the last time they had that homestand, where they had a great homestand, we're thinking positive, we're thinking playoffs, they go on the road, they cave in. That was the West Coast trip, obviously, and it took them a while to get going again from that. Well, obviously not going to the West Coast, you're just going to New York. But what can this team do? This series is going to really show us what we're made of. With the 3-game sweep of Oakland, we have now passed the Oakland A's. You guys made it clear to me in the comments section that we have the games in hand, so we'll jump them. And we have. With Seattle right now, it's in tight against Arizona, but even if they beat Arizona, we're 1 game back at them. With Boston losing as well, we are 4 back at them. If this team keeps on winning, man, it might get real interesting real fast, and it already is. The Jays were 6.5 back of the Red Sox not too long ago. They were 7.5 back. 8. When they like 7.5, 8 back of the Yankees not too long ago? That's now 4.5. Oakland seemed like a mile away. You're now past them. Well, tied, but you know what I mean. And Seattle's right there. The boys just got to keep the flow going for what we saw at Rogers Center this weekend. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the game this afternoon, because damn, that was a fun game to watch, smack that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game, what you like, what you not like from today's ball game. If you say anything you didn't like, I'm just baffled. But Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. The Instagram link is down below as well, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jason Edition, tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, it's an afternoon game there in the Bronx, in New York, taking on the Yankees. Hyun Jin Ryu gets the ball for the Jays. We are just hoping to God Ryu has his ace stuff tomorrow against Jameson Taillon of the Yankees. 1:05 first pitch at Yankee Stadium. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the ball game. We'll talk to you guys then.